What's up, YouTubeverse? It's your boy RB back again for another one. This one might be kind of controversial. I might get some hate for this one. But I really don't care. Last week there were a couple crazy moments that made folks on the internet just go crazy. This feud between Aaron Rodgers and Jimmy Kimmel has come to a boiling point. And Katt Williams broke the internet with his rants on the Club Shay Shay podcast. Now, these two stories have nothing to do with each other, but I'm going to connect them. So let's get started. First off, I hate both of these stories because because these stories perfectly represent just how vulnerable we are to misinformation, gossip, and tribalism. It really is sad. Like, let's start with Jimmy Kimmel and Aaron Rodgers. These two have hated each other.
Stop it. Get some help.
Ever since it was revealed that Aaron Rodgers lied about his vaccination status by saying he's been immunized when he hadn't taken the COVID vaccine at all. Jimmy Kimmel had strong opinions about this. We all had strong opinions during this time. I've seen COVID disagreements break up families. I've seen COVID disagreements start fights. Like, it was a time when we were all just kind of panicked and judgmental. Like, one side was saying, I can't believe you're going to just do what the government tells you. You're just going to comply. And the other side saying, I can't believe you won't at least just put on a mask to save grandma. And ever since then, a lot of us have drawn a line in the sand and saying, you know what? I'm over here. You're over there, and you stay over there. And that's exactly what Jimmy Kimmel and Aaron Rodgers have done here. They've had beef ever since this, and they've gone back and forth a few times. But on the Pat McAfee show, they were talking about the conspiracy theory that the last 3 Super Bowl logos, color schemes, have matched the colors of the teams playing in them. And that led into AJ Hawk bringing up Jeffrey Epstein. Why, I don't know, but he did. Like, I don't understand it. Why bring up Epstein on ESPN? It doesn't make any sense to me. Anyway, and then Aaron Rodgers said this.
A lot of people, including Jimmy Kimmel, are really hoping that doesn't.
All right.
I'll tell you what, if that list comes out, I definitely will be popping some sort of ball.
Yeah, that's actually a super weird thing to celebrate, Aaron. So, in my opinion, it's not a surprise that Kimmel threatened a lawsuit after this. And Pat McAfee very quickly offered an apology to Kimmel because he doesn't want to be sued. And his bosses at ESPN definitely don't want to be sued. Look, I like the Pat McAfee show a lot, but I think what Aaron Rodgers did here was extremely negligent and pretty gross, to be honest with you. Like, I don't have a problem with the joke itself. It's not like the joke offends me. No, you tell that joke in private with your friends. You don't tell that joke live on national television. And now Aaron Rodgers has set the table for the Pizzagate wackos, the internet trolls, and the professional gaslighters to do the rest of the damage. These people have already photoshopped Kimmel's name onto a fake Epstein list. Kimmel is rightfully worried about the safety of himself and his family because Aaron Rodgers essentially suggested Kimmel participated in the most disgusting crime we have in our society. And Aaron Rodgers just thought that this was ha 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 funny. I don't get it. I don't see anything funny about it. I really don't. People are trying to justify these actions by Aaron Rodgers, and I just can't. I don't even like Kimmel. I have never once thought that he was funny. I've hated every single show that he's ever done. One of the things I hate most is that his show comes on before the NBA Finals every single year. Can't stand it. But all that's irrelevant. Aaron Rodgers was completely wrong for saying that, and I think that he should apologize to Jimmy Kimmel. Live on air. I do. The gaslighters will tell you that Jimmy can dish it out, but he just can't take it. Or, I don't see the problem, it's just a joke. Or, Kimmel's just a crybaby. Nah, man, let's keep it real. If someone even hinted at the idea that you could be possibly capable of doing what that pervert Epstein did, you would be howling from the rooftops that you're innocent, and you will be looking to sue somebody real quick because that's not something you play about, man. It's just not something you play about. Any innocent person would be like, yo, like, we're not doing that. And if Kimmel had stayed silent, these same folks would be using that against Kimmel as well. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how Kimmel reacts. It really doesn't. The damage was done as soon as Rodgers suggested what he suggested. What really makes all this interesting is that Jimmy Kimmel is on ABC and Pat McAfee is on ESPN, and both are obviously owned by Disney. And who could blame Kimmel for wanting Aaron Rodgers banned from Pat McAfee's show? Who could blame him? I wouldn't blame him. So is it possible, probable, that Jimmy Kimmel went up to Bob Iger, who's the head honcho at Disney, and said, yo, you got to do something about this. This is not going to fly. I'm not okay with this. Look, like I said, I really like the Pat McAfee show. I actually think it's the most genuine show ESPN has. And I'm not one for canceling people, so I don't think Aaron Rodgers should be banned. But he does need to be talked to and say like, hey, you can't even suggest that someone's a part of this on air. You're going to get us sued. Don't bring that up ever again. Disney's lost enough money this year. They definitely don't want to get sued. And if ESPN does decide to ban Aaron Rodgers from Pat McAfee's show, it will do nothing but pour fuel on the fire that is the culture war going on right now that is distracting us from what's really happening. Now, let's talk about Katt Williams. So, Katt Williams went on Shannon Sharpe's podcast, and Shannon Sharpe let that man talk for almost 3 hours, nearly uninterrupted, and he set the internet on fire. In my personal opinion, this interview was one of the most ego-driven, self-righteous, and self-aggrandizing rants I think I've ever heard. He went after every black comedian you could possibly think of. He sounded completely bitter and angry. It was just a complete mess of an interview. And it was completely genius. I think everyone's focused on the wrong things here. And let's dive into this, because I think that what Katt Williams did really is just genius. Katt really is a lot smarter than people give him credit for. So what he did was he did this in a way that gives him complete plausible deniability in case someone does try to sue him. He also completely exposed Shannon Sharpe for how bad his interview skills are, and exposed just media in general by showing how easy it is to get away with telling blatant lies to the media as long as you're speaking confidently and you steamroll your interviewer. That's exactly what Katt did. So how did he do it? First off, he filibustered and completely took over the interview. He mixed in a few truths with a bunch of blatant lies and hilarious jokes. And now the internet is arguing about what's true and what's false. What he said about Cedric the Entertainer stealing jokes might be true.
Cedric told you when you asked him, did you steal Katt Williams' joke? Yeah. He said it don't line up. How it don't line up that I did it on TV in 2018? You came to see me at the Comedy Store do it in 2019 and then did it on the Kings of Comedy. Like, what doesn't line up?
But what he said about him not having any stand-up specials on Netflix is false.
Cedric sitting here telling you why he ain't a movie star. He over here look like a walrus. You didn't say nothing. He can't even get his arms off his stomach sitting over here. Why I'm not a movie star. He did 4 comedy specials. They're so bad, Shannon, they're not available on Netflix or Tubi.
What he said about Ricky Smiley being bitter about the Money Mike role in Friday After Next might be true.
Your story is the Ricky Smiley that couldn't even do curse words because he had a Christian fan base. He was gonna play the pimp. Why you didn't ask him why has he played a woman in more movies than he's played a man? It is sad. He was just that bitter when we were shooting it. He told everybody, it should have been my role. What he told everybody was, Katt Williams, and don't nobody know who he is. I'm on the radio. I'm with Steve and Said. Everybody know me. That's what he told everybody that would listen to on the set. That's the truth of the matter.
But Katt putting in his contract that Ricky Smiley has to wear a dress every time they're in a movie together is probably a lie.
He was so egregious, I put in my contract that I won't work with Ricky Smiley again unless he's in a dress. Now, what was Ricky Smiley's next movie? Was it First Sunday? Did he wear a dress in it? You bet he did. It's in my contract.
Why would you put that in your contract, Katt?
That's where he's a believable actor. Him and Tyler Perry can't play a man to save their life.
Damn.
They play good women.
When he said Ludacris was chosen by the Illuminati over him because Luda agreed to cut his braids and shave his signature pointed sideburns.
So there was a crossroads where we were both invited to an Illuminati thing, and it had to be one or the other of us, and decisions had to be made. So it was both of us, we were equal. One of us had to cut off all their hair and couldn't do the sideburn thing no more with the points. And the next person, they said, was going to get $200 million because they were going to pay him $10 million a movie to do 20 movies. And that's how the conversation happened. One of those persons turned out to be Ludacris, and the other person turned out to be Katt Williams.
And that's the only reason Luda became an actor and is set to make $10 million a movie for the next 20 movies. Yet Katt Williams turned down $200 million so that he can keep his perm. Yeah, I highly doubt it. Or when he said that he's read over 3,000 nonfiction books a year when he was a kid. That's 8 books a day, every day. Which, I mean, is feasible if we're talking about, children's books. You read, 8 Dr. Seuss books in a day. That's believable. And when Shannon Sharpe brought up Prince, Katt's immediate response was to brag about how he helped Prince prick out all his cars. He helped him write some lyrics sometimes. And again, this might be true. It might not be true. But either way, it just sounds like a Kenny Powers scene from Eastbound and Down. Like, I don't know, man. I really feel like Katt was just proving a point about media. Like, Donald Trump does the same thing too. He speaks with so much confidence and conviction and just says one ridiculous thing after another. And it comes out so fast that you just don't have time to fact check everything that he's saying in real time. Look at how he creates this narrative so easily.
We're going to end up with a generation that can't read. Guess what? Generation Z and A can't read. Why? Because who was giving them a book? We got an iPad or a phone, and now the letters don't mean that there's no cursive writing.
And everyone just blindly agrees. Generation Z can't read. But the truth is that Generation Z is set to be the most educated generation ever, with the highest high school graduation rate of any generation before them, a lower rate of teen pregnancy than any other generation before them. They're even going to college at a lower percentage because they figured out that a lot of college and university classes are completely useless. And because of this, a higher percentage of Generation Z are actually going into trade schools. What I hate most about this is that it splits people into camps of people who just completely believe Katt and take what he's got to say at face value. And then people on the other side think that Katt is just like a rambling fool telling nothing but lies, a drug addict, an alcoholic. And the truth is that Katt's neither of those things. That was a stand-up comedy routine that he was doing on Shannon Sharpe's podcast. He shed some light on some things going on in Hollywood that are true, while exaggerating and fabricating parts for laughs, and to prove the point that you can literally say whatever you want in the realm of comedy, and you can say whatever you want in an interview, as long as you say it with conviction and confidence, and you steamroll your interviewer. And look, that's the difference between what Aaron did and what Katt did. See, it's clear that Katt Williams was doing comedy. He's a comedian. He knows what the hell he's doing. All that ranting and raving Katt did, he didn't once suggest anyone committed a violent crime. He accused a lot of people of a lot of stuff, but never once accused anyone of committing a crime, a violent crime, a crime that would make them go, whoa, 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 I think I'm going to sue you for that. Aaron Rodgers just kind of made a joke passingly in a conversation that had nothing to do with Epstein. That's why these two situations are the same, yet they're different. And that just shows how a football player who doesn't really know the rules of media can say something and get themselves in trouble, while the professional comedian can go out there and say all kinds of crazy stuff and not get in any trouble at all. Look, to me, the idea of using Epstein to slander any celebrity that you don't like, is wild to me. The world's such a fucked up place to begin with. Why the hell are we speculating about who's on this list? Why are we obsessed with these minor conspiracy theories that don't matter? like who's in the Illuminati, or who's an industry plant, or who could possibly be on the list that hasn't been released yet. It's all just a big distraction from the actual big conspiracy. That corporations and politicians and media all work together to distract you from the fact that they're all corrupt and they're all robbing us blind. And that conspiracy is not a theory. It's going to be all for this one, guys. I will see you on the next one.
Can't wait.
Love you guys. Peace.